Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Adelina and I make videos about living in this tiny house on wheels and living a more intentional life. Today I'm going to take you along while I go get my money for this paycheck, for my cash expenses, and get some groceries, and we're just going to chat about my goals for the channel and sort of the content that I want to make. So, yeah, it's cold here, but it's not cold. It's not Calgary cold. For those of you who don't know, I used to live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I am now on Vancouver Island. It's minus 14 here. In Calgary, it's minus 33, I think, plus the wind chills, taking it to closer to minus 40 Celsius. Sophie. Hi. She was sleeping on my bed, and as soon as I start filming, here she is. Anyways, so while people are kind of freaking out here on the island about how cold it is, yeah, it isn't that cold. Not Calgary cold. So I'm going to go and some garbage that needs to go into the bins in the shed. I only take my garbage to the dump once a month. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into Campbell River. The first thing we're going to do is go to the Royal Bank, withdraw the cash. I will show you how I sort of sort that. If you want, I'll do a more in-depth video about exactly how I organize my cash per pay period for my spending. But we're going to go get that. Then we're going to go get the items on our grocery list and then get some gas. Well, we might get gas first. We'll see. But first thing I'm going to do is get my boots on and get bundled up-ish. Get Vancouver Island bundled up and get in the van. Okay, so I have the cashish. And let me show you what I do. Now, I am going to just give you the nerd alert. If you're not a budgeter or somebody who likes this sort of stuff, maybe this isn't the video for you. But a lot of you have asked me about how I do this, and certainly so many people have expressed, including myself, how expensive everything is and how we're all having to tighten our belts a bit and be a bit more strategic about how we're spending our money. And for me, the way that I do that, the way that I'm able to do that, is by carrying cash. Now, sometimes I fall off the bandwagon, the cash bandwagon, when things are super stressful, super busy, and sometimes I don't get a chance to get to the bank. But in general, I do make this a habit and have for a long time. Certainly since I became a single parent, which was a long time ago now. God, 20 years ago? That's amazing. Because Keaton was 10 years old and he turned 30 in August of 2023. Anyways, so I carry cash because that way I see that money. I have to hand that money to somebody. And I find for my personality, for me personally, it makes me think twice about impulse buying. Now, it's not that I can't pull out my debit card if I need to. There's money in the bank for that. But when I set myself the challenge, and I think of it as a fun challenge, again, nerd alert, when I set myself the challenge of only using the cash that I have taken out of the bank, then when I achieve it, in fact, have money left over, which I do this time, I feel really super excited about that. So I get paid every 2 weeks on a Thursday. And of course, I can't, or I don't, run into Campbell River or Courtney on Thursday night. I prefer to do this to start my sort of spending week on Saturdays. So I get paid on the Thursday. Obviously, I have certain things that come out of my bank account on a regular basis, especially at paychecks on pay periods, including debt repayments and savings and things like that. But for my cash spending, for my groceries, things like that, I do them on a Saturday morning, on a weekend, because that's when I can get into town. It's daylight. I have the day off. I'm not working, that sort of thing. So as you saw, I took out $600. Now that is for 2 weeks because I get paid every 2 weeks. So that is for groceries, household stuff. So I put the groceries and household stuff together, but I like to separate them in my budget because obviously toilet paper, Kleenex, cleaning supplies, I don't know what else, garbage bags, things like that are not things that you eat, or at least you shouldn't. So though there is that show where people eat weird shit, but that's not what we're talking about here. I digress. So I like to sort of separate my food budget in my food in my budget line items, but I do add those two together in the section in my wallet, and I'll show you in a second. Because it, obviously when you're buying your groceries and you're picking up some garbage bags like I need to do today, and maybe some, hand wash, you're going to be paying for them together. So those amounts should be in the same section. This will all make sense in a second. But, so the $600 is for 2 weeks, and it's just for the items that I will be going out and purchasing. It's obviously not for things like my internet, my electricity, my household bills. Those automatically come out of my account, and they're accounted for in my budget as a line item, but I don't need to carry cash. I don't need to pull cash out of the bank to then put it back into the bank to pay my hydro bill. That wouldn't make any sense. So it's just for those items. So I hope that makes sense. Let me show you my wallet. Please be kind. I know I'm a nerd. My old boss, Robert, used to have me come in with clients to show them my wallet. So for clients that were really having struggles budgeting and figuring out how to manage their money and were way overspending. And it was a little embarrassing for me. This is way back when I had just become a single parent and was on a really tight budget. And this was it was a survival mechanism that turned out to be a really good habit, and one that I recommend to people when they're struggling with spending, is to just spend cash, carry cash. So let me show you my wallet. My wallet is not fancy and it's quite old, but so here's my wallet. And I like this style of wallet because I can put these tabs in. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I have my tabs. You can see that I have food and house. So this is groceries and household stuff, gas, entertainment and shopping. So this would be dinners out, coffees, movies, things like that. Health and beauty, that would be makeup, hair color, that sort of stuff. Pet care, food for Sophie, litter for Sophie. And then I do have a tab here for the dump, because I go to the dump once a month and it's $10 as a tipping fee there. So you can see that I still have some money in some of these tabs. And I normally will let this accumulate, because I'm not going to always spend $50 or $25 a week on, meals out, coffees, shopping, thing like that. But when I do want to buy something for myself, I want to have enough money to do that. So I let this accumulate so that there's money in there for a purchase that I want to make in the future. The same with health and beauty. I'm not always buying stuff, but sometimes I need to buy some. And so it's the same, like again, with pet care. Today I need to buy some cat food, so I will be going to the pet store and I will be using this. But we're going to replenish this. We've used up all of the groceries, and so I spend $350 total for groceries and household goods, and then gas, I'm spending $150 for 2 weeks. That is a lot, but I do drive the van, as you know, and she's not the best on gas. And unfortunately, just realistically, the location I'm in is a 30-minute drive either direction, to either go into Courtenay or into Campbell River for my errands and grocery shopping. So I end up spending a lot on gas. I spend $50, or I budget $50 every pay period, so $25 a week. And I get there's 26 pay periods in a year versus 24 if you're being paid twice a month. But just to simplify things, we'll just say $25 a week. Health and beauty, it's $25 a pay period, so that would be $12.50 a week. And then pet care, $10 a week, $20 a pay period. And like I say, the budget, the dump is $5 a pay period, $10 every 2 weeks. And these are all the categories that I need for cash spending. So these are the ones that are in here. Again, there are other things that I spend money on, but they're not ones that I carry cash for to spend money on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the cash that we took out of the bank. You saw that I, on my grocery shopping list here, actually figured out how much I would need of each bill. So I got 2 5s, 17 20s, and 5 50s so that I could split it up amongst the tabs. So I'm just going to go and put them in the tabs now, because I need to get gas and I need to get groceries and cat food. So while I'm doing this, we're going to talk about something. Now, there's going to be someone inevitably in the comment section. Maybe not you guys, because you guys are pretty smart, but there's going to be somebody, there's always somebody when I talk about carrying cash that says, you're going to get robbed carrying that much cash. Here's the thing. In this day and age, almost nobody carries cash. So why would anybody think that you were different? Why would anybody think that you had cash on you when almost nobody carries cash anymore? If somebody robs you, I am no more likely to be robbed than anybody else. Because if somebody's going to rob somebody, steal their wallet, steal their purse, they're going to expect to get credit cards. they're not going to expect to get cash. So I'm no more a target than anybody else because I'm carrying cash. I hope that makes sense to you, because really it's very frustrating when people sort of say that sort of thing, because it's just, it doesn't make sense if you think about it. So hold on a sec. Let me get $350 for my groceries. 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82. 2, 20, 40, 60, 83, 50. Okay, so I have $350. That is for groceries and household. And I just put it in the front of my tab here, in front of the tab. And now I need $150 for gas. So $350's there. And so you got to go inside to pay at the pump, you know, to get your gas. It's really not that big of a deal. Now I need $50 for shopping and entertainment. I still have $50 in there, so now I have $100 to spend. And then $25 for health and beauty. So there's $25 for that. And then pet care, $20. Done. So now I have $40 to buy Sophie's cat food because it's a little expensive, so that's good. And then $5 in for the dump. All right. So now that's all in there. It's as simple as that. Here's the thing. When I go grocery shopping, I'm not going to the self-checkout, because at the self-checkout, you can't use cash. And I find the self-checkouts frustrating anyways. There's always an issue with the machine. So I prefer to go to a cashier, an in-person, live person, and then I can use cash and it's no big deal. So yes, it means that I'm going in to pay for my gas with cash before I go fill my tank. Yes, it means that I am not using the self-checkouts and I'm going to a cashier to pay with cash, and maybe those lineups are a little longer. But I don't really care. My day in town is my day in town. I'm not in that big of a hurry ever, rarely. And so I like to take my time. And if I go to a cashier in person, then I can ask them how their day is going, how their shift is going, and chat just briefly, and maybe smile at them because they might be having a crappy day. I work at home. I'm alone all day. I don't see a whole lot of people, so I don't mind actually going in and seeing somebody in person. So we're gonna go get our groceries. We probably will stop for gas on the way. Not on total empty, but I'm pretty close to empty. So we're gonna get gas and we're gonna get our groceries. I'm going to go to Superstore here in Canada. We have Superstore. I have the option of Thrifty Foods, Walmart, Save on Foods, and Superstore. But when I price check, I find that Superstore is consistently better priced. There are always one or two things that are cheaper at other stores, but in general, they're the best price. And where the Superstore is, there is also a Dollar Tree, and there's a couple things I want to get from the Dollar Tree. So I will pop in there first and then go over to Superstore to get my groceries. So let's get going. It stopped snowing. It was snowing on the way here, which kind of surprised me. That wasn't in the forecast, but the roads were fine. And it's still a beautiful drive. Oh, I've already got my seatbelt on. All right, I'm back. And my groceries are away, and I've had some lunch because I was getting a little hangry. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned how I wanted to sort of chat about my thoughts about the channel, the direction I want it to take, that sort of thing for this year, for 2024. So, as you know, because you're watching the channel is called My Big Tiny House Life. I started the channel in December of 2019, specifically because I kept getting the same questions over and over again about the tiny house living, how to get into it, just questions in general about tiny houses. And so what I thought was I would start a channel and answer those questions. Well, the channel's kind of morphed since then. It's become more of my big tiny house life, just my life, intentional living. I talk a lot about that. that sort of thing. So it became just morphed into, well, cooking videos. The channel has organically, naturally morphed into more of a, I guess what they call a lifestyle type channel. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Also, when I started the channel, it became a way to sort of journal my life, the journey of building a tiny house, moving into it, what it was like, just so that I would have it for my memories and for the kids. Down the road, when I'm gone, there will still be these videos. And I loved the idea of doing that. I mean, there's only so much you can talk about when it comes to tiny houses, specifics. I can only share my experiences and my advice. Here's what I want to see for the Tiny House channel, because, well, it's my channel and this is what I'm interested in right now. And I think it might resonate with a lot of you. I'm searching for more content when I'm watching YouTube channels. I'm searching for more content on how to do things myself, how to be more self-sustainable, how to be more prepared for life's eventualities, emergencies, just things, not prepping per se, if by prepping you're thinking doomsday, end of the world sort of prepping, bunker under your house kind of prepping. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not what I mean by being prepared. I've already made a couple of videos on those topics. Just being ready, being taking control and taking on the responsibility of being ready to handle things when difficult things happen, and learning how to do things for yourself so you don't have to rely so much on somebody else or on the government or those sort of organizations to take care of you. Not that there's anything wrong with the government, again. But that is what I'm looking for, because this year, 2024, I want to learn a lot. I want to learn about different topics. I want to increase the tools in my toolbox of skills and build confidence in being able to take care of myself. Because I think there's very few things that we can't learn to do for ourselves, or at least know more about, so that when we get somebody to do things for us, we know what they're doing, we know if they're doing it right, and we can make some informed and educated and qualified decisions about these things. So that is what I'm interested in. That is what I want to share on the channel. Just more things like that. So basics as simple as, how to bake your own bread, how to, cook from scratch, that sort of thing, that I can do, but I want to share more of. For those of you who are intimidated by those things, then I want to show you those simple skills that you can use in your kitchen to save yourself a lot of money, given the price of groceries, but also to have the confidence of knowing that you can do that for yourself. And then there's other things like building some things, some vehicle maintenance. I bought a gas powered generator. I've yet to get it set up. I've got the gas, I've got the oil, but I've yet to get it set up because it's been cold outside. But the next nice warm sunny day, we're going to be out there with a camera, and I'm going to figure out how to get this thing running. It's not a big thing, and if you have a generator, you're probably looking at the camera, rolling your eyes, thinking, Adelina, this is really not that big of a deal. But for a lot of us, and dare I say for a lot of us women, something like that can be very intimidating. And I don't want you to be intimidated, because all of the difficult things that I have learned to do in my life turned out to not be as difficult as I thought they were once I learned how to do them. And there were a lot of things that I was really intimidated by, especially as a woman, to take on. Not so much anymore. And this year is a year of those sorts of things. Do I know exactly what that'll be? No, because I am still learning and trying to figure out what I want to learn more of. But I think it will be really interesting. I think it will be fun. There'll be more day in the life videos of just life in the tiny house, vlogs, that sort of thing. You guys seem to like those. So there'll be more of that. There will be a lot more van adventures when the weather warms up. We're going to do more of that sort of stuff. I was reading an article about Stoicism, and I've always thought that Stoicism was, when you hear somebody say that somebody is stoic, you think of somebody who is, or I thought of somebody who's like stone-faced, not showing any emotion, that sort of thing. And what I found was that it's very different. And it really resonated with me. It's about being self-sufficient. It's about being logical and practical about how you handle things. It's about not letting your emotions run away with you and putting your emotions sort of in check so that you can make logical, rational, intellectual decisions about things. Anticipating what might happen, even to thinking about what's the worst that can happen so that you can then be prepared for it, but not living in that place of always expecting the worst, but just being logical enough and practical enough and realistic enough, that's the word I'm looking for, to understand that those things can happen and being prepared for them as much as possible. And that's what I want. So I want for myself, that's what I want for you. It's certainly what I want for my kids, is that they, the expression I use, and my kids, if they are watching, will remember me saying that, is I don't want my life to happen to me. I want to happen to my life. And I say that to my kids, like, stop letting life happen to you. You happen to your life. You're in control. You can make those decisions, those small decisions every day that lead to big decisions. And you can inform yourself so that you can make the big decisions and you can be ready for the difficulties. So that is what I want for this channel. That is how the channel is going to go. It will be not just tiny house content. And it's sort of been progressing to being not just tiny house content for a year and a half now. It will be more living this life of intentionality and self-sufficiency and us growing together. We'll learn things. You'll watch me make mistakes and you will learn from my mistakes so you don't have to make them. I think it's going to be good. But I just want to say, if that doesn't interest you, if you came here just for the tiny house specific content and the channel no longer resonates with you, that is totally okay. I totally understand. I will not be offended or upset if you decide that it's not for you and you unsubscribe. I get it. And that's the best part, is you get to make the decision because I'm letting you know what's going to happen. And I absolutely respect that. I obviously hope you all stay. My tiny house life is moving in that direction because my life is moving in that direction. And I'm really excited about it. Today has turned into a beautiful day, still chilly, but blue sky and sunny, which is very nice. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. And remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, especially to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you next time.